How's it going, everyone? So another top 30 player visit for the Packers, and this one is going to be on cornerback Charles Demmings out of Stephen F. Austin. So Charles Demmings comes in as the 21st best ranked cornerback in this year's draft class according to the consensus draft board, and is currently ranked 149th overall out of all the players. For his RAS score, he scored a pretty high RAS score at 9.93, comes in at a height of 6'1" and weighs 193 pounds. Did a vertical jump of 42 inches and a broad jump of 11 feet. So very explosive, and also ran a pretty fast 40-yard dash at 4.41. So decent height and very explosive. Now, for his time at the collegiate level, he spent 5 years all at Stephen F. Austin. In his first year, he didn't really play too much, and then afterwards, he pretty much was an everyday starter. Mainly looking at his final year in coverage, he allowed a 48.6 reception percentage because he allowed 18 receptions on 37 targets, but only for 246 yards. Then he also had 6 pass breakups and 4 interceptions, which would have equated to an NFL passer rating of 39.8. And if you look pretty much at the NFL passer rating and his pass breakups and interceptions, every year he seems to have gotten better, starting at 110.7 NFL passer rating and now down to a 39.8, and also relatively decently broke up the ball and also picked it off. So pretty good on that front. As for his grades on PFF, in 2022 had a defensive grade of 53.8, then in 2023 72.3, 2024 a 79.3, and then in his final year a 79.6 defensive grade, along with an 80.4 coverage grade. As you can see in those final 2 years at Stephen F. Austin, very high coverage grades at 81.6 in 2024 and then 80.4 in his final year. So definitely started putting it together over there at Stephen F. Austin in his final 2 years. And now, so what are some of the strengths and weaknesses for Charles Demmings? Well, for the strength side, he has elite ball skills. He finished his college career at Stephen F. Austin as the all-time leader in pass defended at 35, and also had 9 career interceptions. He has press man traits, most comfortable in press coverage, where he can use his length and 4.41 recovery speed to squeeze receivers against the sideline. He has exceptional burst, displays high-end click and close ability, allowing him to drive on balls in front of him with explosive suddenness. And also, lastly, special teams value. He projects as a high-end contributor on special teams, especially as a gunner with that speed, while he develops his defensive consistency. Now, as for some of the weaknesses for him, in run support, not good. Often described as a below average run defender and a drag down tackler who lacks ideal play strength. So he's going to have to bulk up a little bit to help in run support, especially on the Packers. Definitely want run support. Zone instincts, can be slow to recognize route combinations in off coverage, sometimes appearing a step behind when playing with his eyes in the backfield. Then lastly, transition fluidity. While explosive, he can be jerky when flipping his hips in space, occasionally requiring extra steps to redirect. So he's more of a press man coverage instead of a zone. He's a little bit lax in that, and also needs to get better in run support. Now, for a player they kind of compare him to, there wasn't too many comparisons. Bleacher Report didn't do any scouting reports on him. NFL.com doesn't even have a pro comparison. So the only one I have right now is on NFL Draft Buzz, and to a current player they're kind of comparing him to is Eric Stokes. Kind of in the middle of that. Year 1 Eric Stokes was awesome. After year 1 Eric Stokes, kind of blah, but then he went to the Raiders and did all right. So take what you want out of that comparison. If it's year 1 Eric Stokes, awesome. And so currently Charles Demmings, he is projected to be a day 3 pick, kind of going in the 4th to 6th round. He has kind of been rising up in the draft board, especially considering he had a pretty good career over at Stephen F. Austin, then he had a very good combine. So kind of depends on what happens with his draft stock. Like I said, he is rising a little bit. Don't know if he's considered what they're calling a true riser, to where he could project up into a day 2 pick and be a 3rd round pick. But it seems like he's going to settle as a day 3 pick in the 4th to 6th round, which would be a decent pick for the Packers, depending on who's available, what's going on, and also who they picked with their first 2 picks in the 2nd and 3rd round. So, but as a day 3 pick, I would take a flyer on him. like I said, he has good measurables, had a good career over there. Over at Stephen F. Austin, obviously needs to get coached up a bit in zone coverage and run defense, bulk up a little bit there. But otherwise, has some decent things from what I'm seeing. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.